Mellow beat.
You know, you can hear me. Hello, mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check, mic check. What's up, everybody? Back in for another week. Week 2. Let me know how everybody's going. How's your week? How you doing week 1? Man, I did all right, but a couple plays where definitely hurt me. My guy Pearsall, the gym play of the week, did wonders. Definitely helped me out my line. Who else didn't do well? T-Law, garbage. Man, I didn't think Fields was gonna ball out the way he did. It's kind of like it was a narrative. I didn't look into it, but he had that narrative, playing the Jets. I mean, playing Pittsburgh. Playing Pittsburgh. Penix did good. London did get hurt later in the game. Bijan balled out, but for his price point, he was supposed to ball out. But yeah, man. We did pretty good. But we're gonna dive into week 2. Hopefully we got some better plays, hopefully, just with the history with other guys and players. Where I felt we get some good plays coming into week 2. So we're gonna dive in. I'm not sure if y'all could. Trying to see if my chat will work. Live commentary mode on. Only viewers selected by the channel owner can send messages. How can I fix this? Let me try to figure this out.
Mellow beat.
Y'all could send messages now. All right, let's jump into it. Sorry for the slow start. All right, my wife came home, so we got some groceries and we got some Chick-fil-A action going on. But let's dive into it. Let me know what y'all, how y'all did in week 1. What y'all expect for week 2? What type of matchups y'all looking into? What are your favorite spots for quarterbacks? All right, we're going to jump into quarterbacks right now. As you can see, I'm using the draft dashboard tools. Been using for the last 6-7 years, but have a Patreon now out. Definitely helps out with a commission on that end. So if you want to check out the link, definitely just check in. Got free content on that end. But we do have paid memberships when it comes down to player lineups and my favorite positions and whatnot. You have access to that. But hey, I don't ask for much. But we do have my new hats. I do have my new hat line with DMV United. I am from Virginia, if you didn't know. But, you see DMV United. I have a nice little shoestring action embroidered right here. To tie in with the whole community. I got DMV on the back. DMV United have it like a shoestring type of vibe, snapbacks, all sizes. If you do want a hat, it's only $10. But like I said, if you want a hat, just hit up my email. It's in the link. I have multiple. I do have other type of hats where I have the actual DMV circle in the middle and has the green snap on the back. If you like some, I have a whole bunch, you know what I mean? Just to vibe with your boy. I do appreciate it. It's only $10, but it helps out, All right. Let's dive in. Hopefully I changed the chat. Hopefully have access to the chat room. It does help out with the live stream with different, just different opinions and questions and whatnot. So definitely let me know if the chat is working. But let's dive into these plays. Now we do have Jalen Hurts going against Kansas City. He didn't really have a good matchup in week 1. Everybody's rusty. Let's see. He played Dallas last week, so Dallas last week he had 24. Going against Kansas City. Let's see. Last time he played him was in 2023. 2023, where he had 19 fantasy points in that matchup. For 8,300, I will pass on Jalen Hurts. I'm not gonna go too high on quarterbacks. I really feel you don't have to go that route with the 8,000 range. Hell, probably, anywhere 8,000 range, I'm more likely to go to fade here. My boy Pat did mention about Kyler Murray. He did do his thing last week, so shout out to him on that end. He had 18 fantasy points in that matchup, and now he is going against Carolina, where you have a good matchup with Carolina. All right, it's a 44 implied total, 7,700 for Kyler Murray. To me, it's a good play to look into with Harrison if you want to pair him up, and Connor, and even with McBride. I think this is a nice spot. I think this will be a nice cash play if you will look at looking at Arizona against Carolina. Carolina still shows that they just can't defend. They're averaging around 2 touchdowns a game to the position. So do want to look at Kyler Murray at 7,700. Let's see. All right, let's go. Let's see if I can add that in there. I did fail to put in my favorite stacks last week. I got a little rusty on that, so Bear with me, y'all. So I will be having that on the chat for today. All right, so we got Murray for cash. Favorite stacks as of right now, do like Arizona. Arizona. Where's favorite stack list? All right, now next play, we want to look down. We do have Justin Fields. Now he's going against Buffalo. I really feel this is also another play that you could actually. Oh, I'm sorry. He's 82. I'm looking at FanDuel side. Let me back out of here. Sorry. So Jalen Hurts is 6,800. That's not bad of a price. 8,000. I'm more likely fade on FanDuel on that. Kyler Murray, 6,400, not bad. Justin Fields is 57 on DraftKings. Definitely think this is a good play, under 6,000. He is bought out against Pittsburgh with that 29 fantasy point game with 2 rushing touchdowns, and he threw 4 touchdowns. So do want to look at some Justin Fields action, where we're looking at Buffalo. They're bottom tier against the defense. Bottom tier with defense against the position. 29th against the position. 31st as well. And they're allowing around 2 passing touchdowns a game. We all know he can run the ball. So, do want to look at some Justin Fields in this play. Now, let's see. Of course, you had Jackson last week where he had that 29 plus. But I really feel like it's a good spot if you want to continue to flame with Justin Fields. So 5,700 to me is a great value play to still consider for your lines. I will still plug them in. All right. Next play, I got to go with my boy Caleb Williams. All right, I do have him as my favorite play for the week. I definitely think pairing them up with DJ Moore, we'll get to DJ Moore, but this is a good spot as they both have been real effective against Detroit. So Caleb Williams, he's only 5,400 on DraftKings. You get him for 69 on FanDuel. To me, is a great savings play all around. Now, he did have that 24 fantasy point game last week against Minnesota, and which for that price point, he is $300 less than last week on DraftKings. So he has been balling against them. In the last 2 matchups against Detroit, he's averaging 26 fantasy points. It shows 27, 26. They're basically just carrying over, with the estimate. But he is averaging basically 26 in both matchups against Detroit last year, with a total 5 touchdowns in the last 2 games. So Caleb Williams to me is a great play, as he's just been real effective. And if you want to pair him up with DJ Moore, you got Rome Odunze. I think this is going to be a great matchup all around. I think both sides are going to step up. Even if I look into the Detroit side, they should definitely bounce back from last week's shenanigans. But I do want to look at Caleb Williams. Just the value for for the output is definitely there. So I got to go Caleb Williams, 54 in a few of your lineups. All right, let's go add these guys in there. All right, so I did say Justin Fields. I do like Caleb Williams. All right. Chat. Okay. Next play, for even more value, I think Russell Wilson. get him for what? 5,100. Going against Dallas, I think they might be a nice little sleeper here. Dallas is definitely, with their defense and losing Parsons. But, man, I think he should have a great game. I think it's a nice saving spot if you want to have him and then go Tracy. You could actually go up to Neighbors again. I really feel like they could bounce back. He only had 11 fantasy points last week. But there's some good upside here. They're 25th against the position. So Russell Wilson, 5,100. To me, is a great value play if you want to consider him. I think it's going to be a good matchup. They're looking at a 44.5 implied total. Minus 5.5 spread here. But I definitely think you got to look at some Russell. He could do damage. I mean, they're playing at Dallas. Last time he played Dallas, that was 2018, where he had 20 fantasy points, 1 touchdown, and he had a rushing touchdown that game. But Russell Wilson could be a nice little sleeper play at 5,100. All right. And I think one of my guys, they talked about Daniel Jones last week. Man, that dude went crazy with 29 fantasy points. I think he was tied with Fields for the most fantasy points last week with Fields and Jones together. He had 2 rushing touchdowns as well with the touchdown, and he just showed out against Miami. Now he's playing Denver. This could be a different type of ball game. They got a lot of red going against Denver's defense. But they do allow in the last 9 games. They do allow. Shout out to Lion Star, one of the communities I'm in. They have them in the last 9 that they give up around 259 passing yards to the position. You did have Pittman, that was a sleeper last week, that had 20 plus fantasy points. Maybe this might be a position where this could go under the radar once again. But Daniel Jones with the upside from last week, 29, but they have him at 30 fantasy points. But man, the way he's able to, he's a vulture type of quarterback. So man, it's kind of hard to try to figure out who's going to be the play. But if you're going to look at just overall output, it's going to be Daniel Jones. 5,200, it is hard to ignore it, but this Denver defense could be a problem here. So even though it's something to look at, even if he was to digress from last week, just the fact he's able to still give you maybe 20 plus here, it's still something to look at. I'm trying to get this zoom. I'm trying to get the zoom in correctly on here on the screen. So yeah, Daniel Jones is something to look at for 5,200. So even if it was to give you 20 fantasy points, it's still good for his price point, as I know, and y'all know about me. If he could give you 3 times this value of his price, so looking at 5,000, at least need to give you 15. I could see him giving 18 plus. So even that is still good if you were looking at GPPs, just to be different. But Daniel Jones still a good play in my opinion. Let's see, Jared Goff going against Chicago. Let's see. Goff, where's Goff? He's pricey. He's at 6,000. He had a bad game. Last week he only had 12 fantasy points against Green Bay, where this is another defense that is showing out. As they ran over Commanders. Got some tough defense coming out the gate this season. So going against the Packers, we understand that in that end. But going against Chicago now, Chicago is also someone to also recognize. He hasn't shown much upside playing Chicago. Let's see. Last time He had 28 last time, but I was playing at Chicago last year. Last time they played at home, he had 16 fantasy points. He is averaging still 2.3 touchdowns. 2.5 touchdowns in the last two matchups. So, just this price point, I think he's going to be highly owned. He probably won't be, honestly. But for 6,000, I think I will pivot. Honestly, I think if I'm a pay down, I think if it's 6,000, I'm still gonna go to like Fields or Williams. So for me, I'm gonna just pass on Golf, even though I still like him. With Saint Amara. What did I say? Amara St. Brown. So still could go here with Golf. Alright, and then we could look at Drake May going against Miami. Now he had 16 against the Raiders last week. The touchdown he did throw for a INT. But this Miami's defense doesn't look appealing. Man, this he could actually do work here. This could be a nice spot for GPP for Drake May to bounce back from last week. Even though he did decent, even with his price point, they give you a $300 discount from last week, and he's still 68 on FanDuel. So get a guy under under 6,000, even under 55. You get Drake May against this type of defense. Right off the bat, I really feel like Miami's in turmoil right now. Not sure what they're about. They have no type of identity from last week, so there's a lot going on in the Miami end to where I think Drake May is a spot where we gotta look at for 5,200. So I do like some great Drake May action. All right, of course you got the Joe Flock. We did have him and some GPP on my end. Of course, he's going against his former Baltimore Ravens, which he knows the most. We got that MVP, in that ship. So, going against Baltimore last time he played them was in 22, where he had 18 fantasy points, a touchdown. He did throw for an INT as well, but for his price, even at 5,000. Giving you 18 and up, that's still great value for Joe Flock against the Flock. All right, so do like some Joe Flacco action, and you got guys like Jerry Jeudy that could step back up here. You got Njoku that could hopefully bounce back, but we gotta look at the guy Finnan. I think it's Finnan, right? I think it's Finnan Jr. that put in work last week. So we might have to look at him because he's looking like a receiver, and he's a tight end number 2 spot. But this dude look like he's about that action again, more snaps than Njoku. So we got some sneaky plays on the Cleveland side. So definitely think some Joe Flock is the way to go in some lineups. So let me go ahead and update my list. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Who y'all are actually looking at as well for your lineups this week. All right, so position plays. All right, so we talked about Drake May. We talked about. I think I said Russell Wilson against Cowboys. Some Flacco. All right, let's look on the opposite side with Tua. All right, now Tua is still cheap as well. He's going against New England, but he's been consistent against New England in the last 2 matchups. He had 25 and 31. It says 32, but I'm sorry. It's 31 and 26 in the last 2 matchups at home, with 7 touchdowns in the last 2 matchups. Tua, this is not bad. I mean, looking at him playing at home could be a factor. I might have some Tua action. I mean, the way they played last week is definitely was hard to look at. Going against the Colts defense, I mean, but man, 8 fantasy points last week with 2 interceptions was crazy. So this is definitely gonna push out a lot of ownership off of him, and where you got New England too. So a lot of people's gonna look elsewhere. I mean, just looking at he's effective against them, I might have to put some plays with him. So let's see, Murray 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna put Tua at the end. I think Tua is also someone you gotta look at here. Yeah, he just looks good here. So man, I mean, he's real effective at home playing against him. So let's hopefully this works out in our favor. So get some Tua in a couple lineups for that Millie maker or something in that fashion. So do like that as well. Now also cash plays. You got, obviously you have Josh Allen against the Jets, in which he's effective, as you can see, 23, 24, 24 in the last 3 matchups. So I think if you're looking at him for cash, there's definitely a play here. I mean, he should digress, even though he had that 41 last week against Baltimore. But even so, even if he give you that 24 to 25 plus in this type of matchup, yeah, he had 24, 26, 13, 24 in the last 4 games at New York. But man, he's throwing crazy interceptions in those games. But we all know he's effective on the ground. So do want to look at Josh Allen for cash. I think he's a safe cash play for his price point, even though, I mean, 71 is still not bad, but man, I think he's priced up. He's 88 on FanDuel. Yeah, I'll fade on that. Like I said, Hurts, he's 68 on Draftkings. He is 83 on FanDuel. Against KC, yeah, I'm more likely going to fade that as well. So let me know what you think on the QB side, and we're going to jump right in to the running backs. All right, be back in a bit.
Mellow beat.
right, let's jump into the running backs. All right, so we do have McCaffrey. All right, now we thought we would be more so limited last week with the whole, injury, but man, 23 fantasy points last week without a touchdown, 22 carries, even 9 receptions on the field. Now, this is basically the only guy playing next week. Kittle's out, Purdy's now out. They bring in Mac Jones for the squad, even though, man, I'm glad we got the W, but it's going to be a tough spot. Now, playing against Saints here, and man, he's going to be definitely utilized greatly in this matchup. And the fact that they didn't change his price like that, I think he was 73 last week, so 75. They only bumped him up probably $200 on Draftkings. So I think just the fact that he's going to be utilized a lot more. 22 carries last week without a touchdown. He easily would have broke the slate with like 30 plus here. So I think we got to go back to McCaffrey. Last time he played at New Orleans, he had a 34 fantasy point game. So they're playing at New Orleans this week. Excuse me. We took the L last year, but we lost by 3. But 22 carries, 2 touchdowns last time he played them. Still the same type of stats on the pass attack, where he had 9 for 9, 69 receiving yards. I think we still got to go CMC. I think maybe they try to rest him enough, knowing he gonna have to go. He gonna go ape shit in this matchup. So definitely think just for a cash option, but still, even the fact that he's under 8,000. Even with this type of work that's going to be utilized this week, is still a great price tag to where he just needs around 20 plus. So hopefully give us that 30 plus again. McCaffrey is definitely a play. Alright, so I'm going to gotta go CMC here for cash. Alright, next play. Alright, we don't want to go too heavy on the expensive running backs, but let's see who else is in favor. We do got Jahmyr Gibbs, 74. We want to pay $100 less. But man, 15 last week against Green Bay, 9 carries, 10 for 10 in receptions, so he still was effective on the pass attack. And going against Chicago, where at least he played them 4 times in his career, where he had 3 touchdowns in the last 4. So I'm hoping he'll give us a touchdown in this matchup. So I think Jahmyr Gibbs, just for the price as well, is still effective. Let's see. So Draftkings 74. He's 83 on FanDuel. FanDuel got McCaffrey priced up at 89 on FanDuel. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is still a good cash play as well. Now, the last time he played them, he did have a bad game. Playing at home, and we had 11. But 2023, he had 21 fantasy points. So, this is definitely somewhere where you don't want to really see that, that 11 or even 20 with that price point. You want to see guys like that give you that 20, 25 or more. So Jahmyr Gibbs, I'm gonna keep him in my line for right now. I might have to fade him, but definitely have him for anytime touchdown in my opinion to bounce back from last week. I definitely think it's gonna be a great matchup against these two teams. Sorry. All right, so next play. Let's go down to Breece Hall. Now, Breece Hall, is under the radar, and he had 20 fantasy points last week. He going against Buffalo, where he did play him twice in his career with not twice. He played him 4 times in his career, but in the last 2 games at home against Buffalo, he had 18 and 24. Had very much the same carries. He's averaging around 14 carries in both of those matchups. Didn't get a touchdown, but the fact he's able to give you that much fantasy points without a touchdown to me is appealing. I definitely like Breece Hall for that price, 6,200. Last week he had 19 against Pittsburgh, so I think that was more tougher defense in my opinion. So going against the Buffalo defense where they're 32nd, so look like the bottom tier against running backs, and 31st in defense. I definitely think you gotta look at some Breece Hall action. He had 19 last week, 19 carries, 107 rushing yards, and not a touchdown. So he's just got a lot of volume, and the fact that he didn't get a touchdown, if he was to get a touchdown, it's definitely gonna pay up his price and be one of the optimal plays. So I think we can't fade on some Breece Hall. So Breece Hall, I think you gotta look at some Breece Hall. I think he might be under owned. He probably not gonna be looked at, so you gotta look at some Breece Hall here at 62 hundos. All right. All right, now we got Alvin Kamara. All right, we played him last week. Only had 13. I thought he would do more damage against Arizona. He did have a touchdown, which I'm glad he did. Definitely paid up on that end. 11 carries. He only had 2 for 2 on targets. So now he's going against San Fran, where if we're not gonna get it started early, he probably will be effective. He's only 61 this week. How much was he last week? Okay, they gave a $200 discount. Let me make sure Taysom Hill is still out, because we all know Taysom is a vulture in his touchdown efficiency. So let's look at some Taysom. Make sure he is out. Yeah, Taysom is still out. What type of injury he's on? Okay, so he has a knee. Both coming from torn ACLs last. Okay. All right, so he's on the PUP list, physically unable to perform list. All right, so he's gonna look like he's gonna be out the majority of the year. I mean, so prayers to him. But in the meantime, to get a guy like Kamara under 65, to me is a great play, especially going against San Fran, where we're beat up on our end on the offense tip. So I think you gotta go back to the well with Alvin Kamara, especially for his price point, and you get a discount on Draftkings. And on FanDuel, he is... Where is he at? Yes, boo. Yes. Let's see. Can't find him right now. Hold on. There he is, 61.
Hi, Daddy.
I like some Kamara here for that price point. Yeah, so I gotta look at some Alvin Kamara here. 6,100. Yeah, gotta look at him here. All right. All right, looking at Chase Brown. Let's see, Chase Brown. Yes, boo.
I'm making a move for my snake and for my...
See, Chase Brown, I mean, he had 13 last week against Cleveland, which, you know, it's a tough matchup. He had a touchdown, 21 carries. Going against now Jacksonville. Now they look at it 20th against the position, 4th in defense versus, but I'm not too worried on that end. I mean, they're in the last 9, they're ranked 23rd against touchdowns, to the rushing touchdowns to the position. They're allowing 114 rushing yards in the last 9 to the position. So I definitely think Chase Brown could bounce back. So even with Chuba doing his work last week against them, he had 17 fantasy points. With Hubbard, Chase Brown still should be a good play or at 6,800. So for the price point, definitely think he'll be more of a cash spot. Because even it just looks all green in my opinion for Chase Brown at 68. But let's look for more value. Man, I talked about Travis Etienne last week. Man, this dude balled out against Carolina 21. Obviously, we wasn't sure how they're going to utilize him with Bigsby and someone said Tutu, I believe, on the third back in running back. But 21 last week. He had 16 carries, 3 for 3 and on the pass tip. But Travis on that end was real effective. And I feel like he probably going to be more so owned again, knowing that Bigsby has been traded to the Eagles. So at 5,700 for a guy that now looks like it's more so a play, from last week. Going against the Bengals. One thing about the Bengals, they just give up against the position. They just give up on defense in general. And we know that Travis is one of those guys that is effective on the pass. He's just one of those combo running backs. So even in 10 for his price point, still a great play to look at. Last time he played Cincinnati, he had 17, but 11 carries and a touchdown. He was 4 for 4 on the pass. So I think Travis still a great price at 57, and he was 54 last week. And FanDuel got him at 67. So I think Travis is still a great play to just put in your lines with Bigsby being pulled. Yeah. So I do like him here. See the whole narrative. We do got the whole revenge narrative with Montgomery going against his former squad with Chicago, and he's only 54. But we know he shares the backfield with Jameer. So if you want to pivot from Jameer, because obviously his price is at 7,000, so it's 75. To get a guy that's still reasonable for his price point. I mean, he has 17, 11, and 15 in the last 3 matchups playing his former squad. So if you're okay with him giving you at least 15, I mean, his price is still saying that, still a good price to where if you're looking for 14, 15 from him is ideal. So Montgomery, just for the price point, is still appealing. They priced him down from last week. He was $300 discount. So Montgomery, you're going to look at him. If you want to need a guy to give you 14 plus, Montgomery should be your guy. So you're looking at him on that end. All right, now let's look at Dylan Sampson. All right, now last week he had 17 fantasy points, 12 carries, 8 for 8 on the field. So this could be Flacco's guy. So if you want to look at him, especially going against Baltimore, as you can see, the 23rd against the position, 32nd against in defense, which is crazy. But the fact that he has 17 without a touchdown, this could be appealing for his price at 5,200. He was 49 last week, so they did bump him up because obviously we didn't know how they're going to utilize him in week 1. But being that factor, and if we're looking at the Cleveland side of things, if you need some stacks with Flacco, I definitely think Sampson is that guy to look into week 2. If we're talking about the pass attack, and the fact that he had 8 receptions in the pass attack for 64 yards, we got to look at him pairing up with Flacco here. So he could definitely still be lower owned. So Dylan Sampson is a play in my book. So got to go back here. All right. Let's see. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the running back side. Let's look at Cowboys because we got a good spot for Javonte Williams against the Giants, where he did have 20 phase points last week against Philly with 2 touchdowns last week. So they're utilizing him the way they should. 15 carries. He was 2 receiving yards. I'm sorry, 2 receptions for 10 yards. I'm going against one of the bottom tier against the position in running backs. Javonte Williams at 58. All right, now that's still a good price knowing they're going against the Giants. He only played Giants once in his career, and that was in 2021 where he only had 5 receptions, but he still had a lot of carries. He had 14 carries in that matchup. So, and for hopefully this week. So Giants, I think Javonte Williams will be lower owned as well. So, well, they're saying he's going to be 22% projected ownership. But man, he looks good here too. Looks good in this position. So let me go ahead and update my plays for week 2 running backs. Let me know what y'all think. Anybody have any consideration for any other running backs to look into? Just hit it. Just let me know in the chat. I'm gonna update these plays. So honestly, I think I might pivot from Gibbs. I talked about Chase Brown. You got Etienne Jr. You got Jay Will. Talk about Samson. And I think that was it. Samson and Travis Etienne. Connor. Now I'm looking at James Conner, but then again, looking at Trey Benson. Trey Benson is
Hello, Daddy. Hello, Doctor. Take care of this.
Let me put it away, please. Let's see. Yeah, I'm getting some text coming in saying that they cannot text and they cannot type into the chat. I made an update. Y'all let me know if it worked. Or maybe it's not gonna work until I end the stream. I try to go back into it and make the update on here. Channel. Let's see, update. Let me go back and try to update this again. This audience. automatic places. Help you learn. Alright, it says comments and rating. Comments are on. Sort by newest. Show how many. Okay. Alright, participant modes. I have anyone. I have live chat open. I have chat replay open. Live reactions are open. And I press save. But I don't know if that made the changes in real time. Man, I don't know what happened. Yeah, I think I made a mistake on my chat replay. I'm not sure what happened. And I don't think I could like refresh this. Alright, let's keep it moving. Sorry about that. I got a little sidetracked on that end. Sorry if y'all can't chat. That's kind of throwing me off. I didn't know you could do that. You couldn't do that. I don't know what happened with my settings. But I think I'm set on my running backs because I'm not gonna read. You already know I'm not gonna go too crazy on running backs. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I gotta go max 6. So I think these 6 guys are definitely in my pool for this week for running backs. All right, and we're gonna go dive into receivers in a bit. All right, peace.
Mellow beat. Mellow beat.
Alright, y'all. Sorry, I've been trying to go over the settings, but it looks like I can't make any. It won't make the updates until after the stream. So I apologize on that end. I even tried to log in on my other account, and I can't even comment because it's saying live commentary mode is on, but on my end I turn it off, so it says anyone can send messages, but it looks like it's not registering. I assume it's going to register only after the stream, so my apologies on that end. Yeah, it's not doing anything. All right, let's look into the receivers. Well, we got CD Lamb up top. I feel like it's gonna be a bounce back game for CD Lamb. All right, now he had he had 21 last week. Even with I guess he had like 4 drops, which they feel like they could have cost him the game. But 4 drops. But even with 21, they gave him a $100 discount this week. Going against the Giants, where it's going to be another division game, he shows up. All right, he shows up at home. He's been up and down as of late. Last time he played home, he had 5 fantasy points last year, but the year before that, we had a 42 fantasy point game with 2 touchdowns. He's still getting the targets. He only had 6 targets last year, but looking at his targets this last week, he had 13 targets. So you got to go back to well with CD Lamb. He's in my fantasy, so you got to plug him in. All right, I think CD Lamb is going to ball out this week. I also was looking at Prescott. Prescott on QBs, he's cheap as well. I think he's like 5,800. Let me look at Dak here. He's 59 and he is 73 on FanDuel. I don't really like the FanDuel price, but if you want to look at Dak Prescott bouncing back as well, I think it's going to be a good play. If you want to look at I talked about Wilson, but I think you have to look at Dak Prescott bouncing back, playing at home against the Giants. So Prescott's also a good play. I'm trying to see who I could try to pivot. I mean, not pivot, but take off the list. If I would take anybody off the list, more likely it would be Flacco. But I like the value for Flacco at 5,000. What? I mean, Fields maybe, because there's a lot of hype with Fields from last week. I think I gotta look at Prescott here. But anyways, I do love CeeDee Lamb up top for cash. And then also, if you want to look into the opposite end, we got Malik Neighbors. All right, he had 12 against Washington last week. But going against Dallas, I mean, he played them twice last year. He had 26 and 15 without a touchdown on both, but he's getting the targets. He's averaging 14 targets in the last two matchups, and averaging 10 receptions in both of those matchups as well. So if you get that touchdown, man, he's going to pay up that price point. He's 7,100. So let's say if he had a touchdown in both of those games, easily, 20 plus, hell, even 30 in that. And so he has that ceiling. He has that ceiling to do work. So I definitely want to consider Neighbors on the other side for the price. I think both guys are in play here, where it's going to be a back and forth type of matchup here. So I do like both Lamb and Neighbors here for this week. All right, let me go ahead and update for the receivers. All right, let's go. All right, so we was talking about Fields. So let's look at Garrett Wilson. All right, he's 65. Going against Buffalo. And even last year, he was doing work last year against Buffalo. He had 27 and 18. Touchdown in both games. This probably had to go back you gotta go back here. If you're gonna pay with Fields, I definitely think you gotta go back here with Wilson. Should be a high flying game here. They're looking at a 46.5 implied total, so it's one of the higher implied totals of this slate. You got Kansas City and Eagles, 47. So it looks like the next game that's you got Pittsburgh and you got Chicago and Detroit. So it looks like those are going to be the two games that's going to be in the high implied total. All right. You got to look at Garrett Wilson. So I'm trying to figure out like a strategy here. I'm thinking probably pay low at quarterbacks because they got a lot of cheap quarterbacks that has good upside, and then you could pay up at the receiver side. That's what I'm thinking. All right, Buffalo is ranked 31st in both defense and position, so I think you got to go here with Garrett Wilson as well. I do like JSN. All right, he had 13 targets last week. 13 targets for 23 fantasy points. he was carrying the load for that squad here, and that's a good sign, especially, just trying to find chemistry. So Jackson's also a great play. We're looking for a 6,000 guy. And he's in a good spot against Pittsburgh. More likely Darius Slay could be on him here, but I'm not too scared on trying to play him. But I think JSN, just for his price point, getting the target share, I think he got what? He played 76% in snaps. So yeah, I think it's a good spot for JSN if you want to look on that side of the game. With Seattle against Pittsburgh, I definitely like the targets going for him here. So JSN for 6,000 to me is a great price tag. All right, man. We got a lot of good receivers this week. You got Harrison Jr. I mean, he had 18 last week with a touchdown, 5 receptions for 71 yards. Going against a bottom tier defense. In the last 9, Carolina's been ranked 30th, allowing 1.3 receiving touchdowns. Man, so Marvin Harrison still under 6,000. It is tough not to play. They bumped him up 300 from last week. He's only 67 on FanDuel. But, man, I do like the price here for Marvin Harrison. I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like 6 targets is still too low, Like, knowing that's your guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, knowing that's your guy on the game, for the receiver core, why not throw the ball to him more? 6 targets to me is real small. It's real cheap. I said cheap. It's so low. The target share is so low. He's a big dude. He's bigger than last year. I know that. So Marvin, just for the price point, is still valid. I mean, he had 18 because of that touchdown. But man, if he can get that touchdown, that sucks, man. So he should be a good spot. Like I said, I like to pair him up with Murray, but if he don't keep this train rolling, this could be a bad play for Harrison. I think you should pay, lower if you want to look at Harrison or JSN. Marvin should be the play here at 5,800. To me, it's a great play against Carolina of all defenses. But man, I have a bad feeling. He's one of those, what I mean? It's like one of those feelings like he should go off, and then if he doesn't ball out, it's kind of like you kind of like yeah, I knew it. You know what I mean? It's like I hate that type of mindset where it's like, oh, if I play him, if you don't do well, it's like, oh, I kind of figured type shit. And I'm like, I don't like that, especially with Harrison. He's like one of those guys where it's like he should ball out, but when he doesn't, it's like you're not surprised, and it's like I can't have that, man. But just for the sake of the video, man, like I like Murray for cash. I think it just seems like you have to play Harrison if you want to play, Murray. But man, I'm already at 4 receivers. I can't play everybody. I like JSN, man. JSN looks good. Oh, Harrison, man. Harrison looks like he's lower in ownership. Stacks. Let me go to my stacks list. Cash, I feel like is going to be Detroit. GPP. Cleveland. Already, I think Cleveland. I ain't playing Detroit. I think it's going to be Cowboys. I think Giants is going to be GVP for right now. Injury watch list. We still have Taysom out. All right, Taysom still out for the injury list. Okay, and let's try to find some value here because I got too many like big leagues for the receivers. Let's try to find some value in receiver side. Now talking about Drake May, you know, I think we got to look at Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs had 6, he was targeted 8 times. He had 6 receptions, 103 yards against the Raiders. Now he's questionable. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong guy. That was Butte. Sorry, wrong guy. But we gotta make sure. Hold on, Butte, Keyshawn Butte. He had 19 last week. Where is he at? There he is. He had 4,500. So we gotta watch this guy. He's questionable heading into week 2. What type of injury he had? Shoulder injury, second straight day out of practice. Popular waiver wire add to the fantasy this week. Keyshawn Butte. Is it Butte? I think we gotta look at this guy because he had 8 targets for 19. Stephon Diggs had 7 targets for 12. And Butte was cheap. Yeah, I think he's real cheap on here, so we gotta look here. Alright, where is Stephon Diggs? Alright, so 7 targets, 6 receptions. He has done well against Miami in his history. Last time he played them, he had 3 touchdowns. Obviously a different squad, but 3 touchdowns, 6 receptions for 120 yards was the last time he played at Miami. Years before that, he had 7 receptions, 9 targets, 5 receptions, 9 targets. I like the price here for $5,000 for Stephon Diggs. You would think he's a rookie. You would think he's a rookie at that price. $5,000 for, you never thought you'd have a Stephon Diggs for $5,000. I just think that's a great price for a guy with that much talent. And I like Drake May. As a nice little pivot for going against Miami, which is struggling. So get a guy that's $5,000 that could give you that 20 plus here at $5,000 is what we're looking for. And then we got Butte. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, but he is questionable, so that does open up more for him. But if he's out, but let's go ahead and add him to the injury list so I can keep tabs on him. New England. Tay is questionable. All right, so he is questionable, and stacks list, man. I think I gotta look at New England as a nice little sleeper GPP stack right there. All right, let me make it low. All right. But I like Stephon Diggs I think he's a great value play. Whoever thought Stephon would be 5,000. Man, I already have freaking 6 receivers already. Man, I'm gonna have to put someone gonna have to fall off this list. So we got Diggs. might have to take care. I don't know who to take off. All right, next guy. He's definitely the play you gotta look at is. I feel like he's always balled out. Is DJ Moore? Where is he at? Where he at? Where he at? Over there. Over there. Right there. Over there. Right chair. Right chair. Over there. Over there. Right chair. Over there. Right chair. Over there. All right, so we're looking at the bounce back game for him. He only had 3 targets last week for 6 fantasy points. That's not true. That is not true. So DJ Moore had 3 receptions for 5 targets. Yeah, they need to update this shit on this end. Sorry, draft dashboard, but yeah, you gotta update this shit. But as you can see, check him out in the last 5 against Detroit. Always been dominant against Detroit. Last 3 times he played at Detroit, he had a touchdown in every game. He had 31, 22, 23. He had 23 last year against them. Now against Detroit last year, he played them twice. He had 16 targets in week 13, and then he had week 16, 10 targets. So this guy is balling against them. He had 23, 14. So for his price point, he's at 5,600. We just need him to give you that 15 plus. I really feel like just the history with Moore. Hopefully the bounce back with Caleb here. They should get it done. Like this play. I mean, 3 targets. I mean, I'm sorry. Not 3 targets. Just throwing me off. But 5 targets. Hopefully they up the targets, knowing that he just. I mean, I don't know. He just know that he just knows that type of defense. He gets open. Makes Caleb's job easier. It shows that he's still effective with Caleb Williams from last year, because like I said, Caleb had 26 fantasy points in both of those matchups last year. So pair him up with DJ Moore, knowing that he still was able to ball out with Caleb. I like this spot for DJ Moore. So we gotta go back here. All right, man. I got too many fucking players. Y'all know I hate receivers. So the fact I got I got 6 receivers off rip. I gotta load my list now, man. Technically, this is the max amount I could only have for the for receivers. I'm kind of at my max limit, man. Let's see. Well, Dunze, how's he? So Dunze had 9 targets. So it looked like Rome was the guy last week for him with a touchdown, 6 receptions, only 37 yards. Now playing Detroit, he's still averaging around 6.5 targets against them. He had 4 and 10. Even though he got the targets, he just didn't get the receptions. He's more like a slot. Shoot. $4,800 too. So Rome had 9 targets last week. $4,800. I'm gonna look at Tyreek Hill real quick against. Alright, keep that in mind. Alright, I'm looking at some value, y'all. Bear with me. I'm just trying to find value. I like here, though, Cedric Tillman. Alright, he had 8 targets for 16 fantasy points. I was just trying to see if he probably did score. Yeah, so he scored. He had 8 targets, 5 receptions, 52 yards, and he's only $4,300. Now I'm just trying to figure out. He's just great value, but 16 when he scored, so 4,000. Get a 4,000. No, 4,300 is not bad. 43. He's 54 on FanDuel. I think Cedric Tillman is a great value play at 4,300. I'm just trying to find the value. I think Cleveland is definitely the play for GPPs. So get a guy like Tillman in the mix if you need some value there. Yeah, I like the spot for him. So let's go to position plays.
I can't wait for Christmas. I can't wait.
You can't wait for Christmas?
Yeah, Christmas is today. Today is Christmas.
Today is not Christmas. What are you talking about?
Daddy.
You say hi? You wave hi?
Yeah, hi, Daddy.
Wave. Wave the camera. What?
I don't want to do that. It's just something.
Alright, so.
Daddy?
Yes, baby.
Can we do something?
Yeah, once I'm done with the stream, we gotta go get Sissy.
We gotta get her.
Yeah, we gotta pick her up in a little bit.
We gotta pick her up.
Yeah.
Okay, get her now.
Yeah, we got.
Okay, get her now.
In a little bit. Give me like 20 minutes.
Okay, 20 minutes.
20 minutos. 20 minutos. Alright, y'all. What y'all think is good value? I think I'm pretty much. I gotta be done on receivers, y'all. Got Lamb, like Neighbors, Wilson, JSN, Harrison, Diggs. Like, if I would take anybody off that list, it would be more so JSN. But then it's kind of like everyone else is still good value at receivers. But trying to find receivers that is like in a 4,000 range with upside. I really like the value at New Orleans. Like, not New Orleans, but the value at New England. So Waddle, Jalen Waddle in Miami. Jalen Waddle is questionable. What's going on with Waddle? Waddle. Xavier Worthy. He's questionable. Alright, let me update these questionable lists. Injury lists. So we got KC, got Worthy. He is questionable. You have Miami. You have Waddle, questionable. All right. We got Wendell Robinson for Giants, questionable. That'll happen to him. Ankle, back at practice Thursday. He was listed non-participant on Wednesday. So Wendell Robinson was out. And he's questionable, so he'll be alright. Man, Cooper Kupp wouldn't do crap last week, huh? Cooper Kupp had only 3 fantasy points. We thought that Cooper would go crazy, right? But it was JSN. It was JSN. JSN was going crazy. 13 targets. So, man, it's kind of hard to fade JSN here. When you're getting that type of target share, man, you can't ignore it, you know? Let me try to update this list on the targets. You got Chris Olave. He had 13 targets last week. He's 4,900. So that's crazy, you know. Chris Olave was in the top elite a few years ago. And he's at 4,900. But it's the quarterback issue at No, you eat your apple, boo-boo.
Are you done, Daddy?
Hmm?
A few more apples?
No, I'm okay. You eat your apple, boo-boo. Eat the apple, girl. Alright, y'all. I think I'm pretty much done here on receivers. There's only so many you could choose, you know? There's only so many you could choose from. But we want to find the value. And I think Tillman's that guy for value. 8 targets, 16. Going against Baltimore. He looks like the guy here. Stephon Diggs. Got Douglas. Let's look at DeMario Douglas. Man, he's cheap too. He's 4,300. DeMario Douglas. My Dougie in the Douglas. Dougie on my Douglas. Dougie on the Douglas. Dougie on the Douglas. Okay, hold on. So Douglas, he's been effective the last 2 times he played Miami. So he had 11. It says 12, but he had 11 in both matchups where he had 7 targets, 9 targets, averaging 5.5 receptions, averaging 60 yards in both games, y'all. So this could be a spot for Dougie. The Douglas. Dougie for the Douglas. DeMario for the Douglas. DeMario for the Douglas. Might not be a bad spot here. I like this New England stack, y'all. What do y'all think? We didn't talk about what's his name? Trayvon Henderson. That's my cousin-in-law. I'm lying, but yeah, my last name Henderson. If y'all didn't know that, my last name is Henderson. So, Trayvon Henderson. He had 11 last week. He had six receptions last week. And Trayvon Henderson was 55. He's 5,500. DeMario Douglas, man, we got some good value here for the receiver side. So if you need a guy like 4,300 to give you that 11, 12 fantasy points, it could be my man DeMario Douglas. Dougie on the Douglas. Dougie on the Douglas. Dougie on the Douglas. Dougie. Douglas. Dougie on the Douglas. 7 targets. So, all right. So you got DJ Metcalf. I think a lot of people are going to be chasing the whole revenge tour against Seattle. So you got him at 5,900. He had 7 targets last week with 12. So if you want to look, I mean, you already know. I feel like anytime you got like a guy like Rodgers, he's going to feed into that narrative. You know what I mean? He's going to feed that narrative with revenge. You know what I mean? Like playing playing the Jets last week and going crazy, and then I feel like knowing that Metcalf is he's gonna look. Metcalf is gonna go on like, look, you gotta give me the. I mean, well, he did give him the ball. He had 7 targets last week, so he ain't he ain't getting the ball. But DK gonna be like, yo, give me the ball, man. I need that rock. Give me 12 targets, 13 targets this week. I need a ball out against my team, man. And I think Rodgers definitely gonna help him out, man. So you gotta look at DK here against his former team. So DK, I mean, he had 12 against the Jets, and Jets is not a bad defense. So, I mean, but looking at them going against their position, they're 7th against receivers. So he's going to have to fight for them for these yards. You know, I think it's going to be a lot of hype, 5,900 for him. They're looking at a 13.5 projection. He need to give you at least that 15 plus here in this position. A lot of people are going to be playing this narrative. I do like DK. I mean, he's 5,900, y'all. So, do you go DK for 59, or do you go Diggs at 5,000? Do you go Harrison at 58? You got JSN at 6,000. You got Wilson up top, and blah, blah, blah. So I feel like DK is going to be cash. But I can't play everybody, y'all. We got 7 receivers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 receivers. I got 8 receivers. So I can't play. You can't play everybody. But the question is, where's the upside? You know. So we're trying to find the upside. So I can't play everybody. But there's a lot of other guys that are in better spots, in my opinion. Now DK, he's a monster. So he's one of the guys, even in bad matchups, like, you just gotta feed him the ball. So if he's getting 7 targets, just feed him the ball. You know, I do like that spot for him. All right, so I think I'm done at receivers. Let's go ahead and jump to tight ends. Y'all already know tight ends is my favorite spot because it's real quick and easy. Parcheesi. All right, we got Trey McBride up top, 6,000. I mean, he's cash, but he's in a great play against Carolina. We all know Carolina is garbage against tight ends, and he had 6 receptions last week for 9 targets. So he is that guy when it comes down to pairing him up with Murray. So get a guy that didn't get a touchdown last week and gave you 12. He could have easily gave us, 15 plus here in that spot. He gonna need to give you 18 here. So for that price tag, but definitely a cash play. You want to pay up if you want someone that you feel like is like an automatic play. But Trey McBride is definitely a great spot. Just I hate the price. He's 7,000 on FanDuel. Now, Trey McBride definitely a good play here. Sam Laporta, love this spot for him at 48. He has been the guy in the last few matchups against Chicago. So last year he had 15 and 14, but he got 14-16. So last year he had 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games against Chicago, and he's still averaging around 3.5 receptions, but he is that guy in the red zone. Love this play for Sam Laporta for the price. So want to pivot from McBride, get you some Sam Laporta action for 48. Love this spot for him. So definitely think he's the guy there. You gotta look for. McBride for the pride. We got McBride for the pride. McBride for the squad. Alright. Sam Laporta. Love this spot for him. Love that price. Now it's time to find some value. Now, we was talking about David Njoku. He had 6 targets last week, 7 receptions. Cool. Alright. We thought he would ball out because of his history. But this man, Harold Fannin Jr., 3,100, 9 targets, 14 fantasy points. Cleveland. Now, Cleveland is showing love for Fannin. Alright, he said draft in round 3. See some fireworks from the tight end position at camp this year. He looked like he got more targets. I mean, he got But I love the value from him. That's the key. Is the value. Now you rather go Njoku at 44, or would you rather get a guy in Fannin Jr. for 31? Bare minimum pricing at that, and he's still cheap. You know, he had 7 receptions for 9 targets, 63 receiving yards. This guy Harold Fannin might be the play here if you want to pivot from the chalk of Njoku. Bare minimum pricing, y'all. I think you gotta go back here for that type of love. You know what I'm saying? For that type of love. So Fannin Jr. Love this spot. For him. Let's go up. Go up to Janu Smith. All right, now Janu Smith, 3,900. I do like this spot for him. If you want to go back to the well with Fields, I mean not Fields. Go back to the well with Roger squad, where he has 6 targets for 13, and he's been a good spot at home. All right, in the last 4 home games. Now, bear with me. I mean, obviously, this is a different team last year, but the last 4 home games, he played Raiders 31, 23 for New England, 13 for the Jets, 12 for the Niners. Hey, I got my chat back. Chat came back. Mac Jones not a cash lock to you, fam. Fannin Jr. value is crazy, and he lined up at the Wildcat and H-back in the slot. I think he got a carry, too. Mac Jones not a cash lock? No. I'm not. I don't want to pay. I'm a Niners fan. Look, man, I'm a Niners fan. Like, I'm Niners. This is me all day. Niners all day. Like, look, man, I got Niners all day. Hold up. Everybody knows I'm a Niners fan, man, but I'm not. I can't play my team, man. I can't play my team. Oh, I can't play my team. But I'm a Niners fan. Yeah, my little Niners stuff up top, you know what I'm saying? My Niners stuff, I'm a Niners fan. I got my Steve Young over there. So I'm a Niners fan, man. Yeah, I'm a Niners fan, man. But I can't play my squad, man. I can't do it. But I like Fannin. I think Fannin's a good spot for that value, you know. But Janu Smith, you know, 31, 23, 13, 12 when he was with Miami. I mean, he had 9 last time he played Seattle. You know what? I do like Jake Ferguson playing the Giants. Jake Ferguson, the last 2 times he played at home against them, he had an 8 and a 12. Red Hood, what's up, Chief? It's only 4K. LOL. Surely he will throw a tug against the Saints. Man, I don't know, man. I can't play him, man. I'm sorry, bro. I can't play Mac Jones, man. I'm sorry, man. Do it. If anybody, I feel like the only player I feel like I gotta play is CMC, but I cannot. I may be wrong. Maybe I'm just crazy, man. But I don't know, bro. I can't do it. Well, I'm glad the chat is back up and going. I thought I couldn't do the. I didn't think the chat was working, so I'm glad it's working right now. All right, so we got Jake Ferguson, 3,800. I do like this spot for Dallas, so if we want to look at Jake Ferguson, Prescott, and some good old Lamb action, you know, you can go that route. All right. Ferguson. Also, What y'all think about Noah Fant? Font or Fant? He's 3,300. He's 3,300, man. It's 5 targets. 13 fantasy points. Where he had a touchdown last week against Cleveland. 4 receptions, 26 yards. Going against Jacksonville, and this is the thing too. Like, this could be a sneaky play for Fant because he had a touchdown the last 2 times he played Jacksonville. Last time he played Jacksonville was 19 and 2001. 2019 and 2021. So, yeah, man, I like Noah Fant for value. 3,300 for Fant. Got Fanning. But I like Fanning, man. I think Fanning is a spot at 31. I feel like if you want to just say fuck it and get some value at bare minimum, go Fanning Jr. It's like everywhere else is kind of like, all right, you're just picking and choosing at that point. I mean, I love Sam Porter too, but like I said, man, getting somebody at a bare minimum is where it's at. So, not going to go crazy with this tight end list. I think GPPs, you got Fanning, Laporta, Bride, Cash. If I'm going to go crazy, I think Ferguson. I think Ferguson's a good spot too. How much targets did Ferguson get last week? Alright, y'all might think I'm crazy with this one.
I'm gonna go pick up Livy.
You sure?
Yeah, Lala wants me to go.
Okay. Alright. I might think I'm crazy with this one. I like some Tyler Higbee. Now, he ain't do a damn thing against Houston. He ain't do nothing against Houston last week. But let's see what what's his snap count. He only had 64% snap count last week. Tyler Higbee. He could be a sleeper. Let me see something. Higbee. Alright, he ain't getting no love last week. But maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I shouldn't go so crazy with this guy. But last year... No, I'm sorry. It wasn't last year. Well, Tyler Higbee, he's 3,100. Why he ain't getting no... Did he even play? Well, I say he had snaps, but he ain't getting nothing. Los Angeles tight end Tyler Higbee remains atop the depth chart heading to week 1 against Houston, but not a reliable fantasy option given the competition for targets against Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Blah, 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 blah. Yep, never mind. And, yep, never mind. Disregard for Higbee. But the only thing I say, I'm more of a trends guy. Everybody know I love trends. But every other game, he scores a touchdown. And if you look at last year, you can look at his stats last year. I mean, he only played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He only played 5 games last year. But every other game, he scored a touchdown. He played the Jets, touchdown. Played Seattle, touchdown. Played Philly, touchdown. If he goes off against the Titans, since he didn't he didn't do shit against Houston, y'all heard it first. All right, I'm just gonna say that. But he's every other game he's scoring a touchdown since last year. So if you want to play Higbee in your like a little separate prop, put a little. If you want to put him in as a what they got, FanDuel. FanDuel got that little touchdown for bonus bets. Throw him, put $5 on him. Put $5 on him. I think he's like only plus 500 or something like that. Put $5 on him, and if he score, man, y'all heard it first, man. Tyler Higbee. All right, y'all. I think I'm done with the tight end side of things. Let's go to defense, and then we'll do a couple lineups, and then we'll be done for the video. I'm glad the chat is back up. All right. They got Ravens up top, which I feel like I really think Cleveland's gonna do some work here, so I'm gonna leave that alone. Rams defense against Titans. I mean, Titans is allowing around 3.2 sacks a game. I do like Rams. I didn't really see anything in particular for the Titans. Just in the sense of looking into the actual, each position. I didn't really see anything standing out for Titans. So, Rams defense do look appealing. The Niners defense, I don't know. I really don't know about that one. We're going to leave that alone. $3,600. Yeah, I'm leaving that alone. Lions against Chicago. I'm going to leave that alone. $3,200. I'm going to leave that alone. Carolina against the Cardinals. They got Cardinals at 34. I didn't really see that much for the Carolina side of things. I mean, of course, you got Hubbard, but you got McMillan in them. I think cash is going to be Cardinals. I'm gonna leave the other stuff alone on that. Patriots defense could be a spot to look at. Let's see where's Patriots at. They're $2,800. So I do like the Patriots defense here. I mean, Tua, like I said, when I looked at Tua, I mean, he had over, 5 touchdowns in 2 matchups at home against Miami. So maybe he'll go off. Probably Hill will get the love. Hill could go off. Tyreek. I think Tyreek is cheap too. He's like 6,400, I believe, in Draftkings. So this could be a play where it could. I mean, I don't know, man. $2,800 to me is still a good spot. Looking at the 43 implied in this match too. Patriots defense. I do like Patriots here. What about the Dolphins defense? I mean, even the Dolphins, like in the last 4 matchups against New England, they've been averaging over 6 fantasy points, and they're 2,900. So I mean, I'm just trying to find bottom tier. I'm just trying to find bottom, pricing at defense. I don't think you don't have to pay up 3,200 plus for defense. You should try to find some great value at the defense slot. Dolphins could be a play, but then again, I think I would more likely go Patriots. But it's funny how there's only $100 on both ends. But on FanDuel, so they got Dolphins at 3,600 on FanDuel, but they got Patriots 4,400 on FanDuel. So they got a crazy price difference for Patriots on FanDuel, but it's only $100 difference on Draftkings. So keep that in note. What about the Giants defense? They're 26. They're bottom tier. So Dallas, I really feel like Dallas should go off swinging this week. The last 4 matchups against Dallas, they averaging 0 fantasy points. So Giants ain't doing they can't stop shit against the Cowboys in the last 2 years. 3 years. I'm gonna leave the Giants alone on that, on the Cowboys. That's like their little Super Bowl right there. So what about the Browns? Browns defense, cause I see a lot of love. Maybe there's some love for the Browns. Y'all, I might be crazy here, but maybe the Browns defense. Alright, so in the last 4 matchups, right? So at Baltimore, they were crap last year, but then 23 they had 15, 22-5, 21-11. It should be. You think it's going to be an uptake on this one? Now don't get me wrong, like it could be like they probably will score, but man, like interceptions is up there. Probably he'll throw a few interceptions against them. I don't know, y'all. I think Browns, man. The more I'm looking at them, Browns at 2,200, man, is appealing. I like Browns, y'all. Browns GPP defense. Where we at? Over there, right here. All right, so cash. I think it's Arizona defense. I like Cleveland for GPP. I like Patriots. What about Saints? Man, one thing I can't bet against my team, man. I can't do that, man. But then again, I don't trust Mac Jones, man. But then again, I feel like McCaffrey's gonna go crazy. But I don't know. Mac Jones. Hey, Pat. What's up? Hey, Pat. Yeah. I hit you up on the I saw your comment, Pat. I let you know that I was able to fix it, so I'm glad you're back on. Hey, I can't target Lamar. Yeah, man. Like I really feel, man, Cleveland could be the spot. $2,200. What about the Colts defense? They're playing Denver. Colts defense. Play Miami 13. I think Colts. I mean, even Colts. I mean, that's not bad of a price. $2,600 is not bad. And what was New England? New England was 28. I think the cash spot might be New England because of the whole spill with the Dolphins. But I feel like they always had like the Dolphins and the Patriots always go back and forth when it comes to it'd be like, I don't know, they have a nice little rivalry when it comes to those two teams. I already think Colts is a good defense here against Denver. I mean, $2,600 to me is real cheap. Cause I would have thought Cleveland would have been 3,000. I mean, not Cleveland. I thought Indy would be 3,000 from last week. But the fact that they're still under, 3,000, hell, $2,600 on DraftKings. is appealing there. So I like that. Yeah, I like the fact that it's still under 2,800. Oh, it's still good. I don't know about the Bears. They're 25. I really feel like Detroit's gonna bounce back here. So Lions defense. Pat said rough week 1 for me, but it's a long season. Yeah, man, it was. I mean, it's expected, y'all. Like you're basing your stats and your knowledge and shit from last year, probably like the last few games of last year. You don't really know how the new pieces are going to act into the new season, so it's evident that week 1 is not going to be what we expected. But like I said before, like as you go along each week, you'll start seeing vulnerabilities in the defense or offense. You'll start seeing chemistry build up in the offense. You start seeing where, for instance, let's look at Diggs and New England. We might think, oh, Diggs is a guy, but then we find out it's this guy. So we're just here to catch it. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, like I said, by week 3, week 4, we start seeing the change of chemistry, the change of what people expect to what's actually reality, right? So, like for instance, everybody was on Njoku. I was on Njoku last week, but as we see, we got Fanning Jr. round 3 going ape shit, on the other end. So it's like, and he's low value. So that's what we're trying to find, right? You got a guy like Njoku that's 4,400 because people know him, but you got a guy like a rookie like Fanning Jr. that's, what I'm saying, still under the radar, still low value, and that's where we want to get, right? So that's what we're doing every week, is to find those type of gems that we could try to pivot from the masses, right? For your lines, right? That's what we're about. That's what I'm about. It may not work, but when it does, it pays, and that's what it all is about. So tune in with your boy, man. And I can't do it by myself. There's guys like Pat and Chris and Red Hood that join in. You got the great ones that will feed in with information, y'all, and I appreciate y'all, being in the chat, man, because I wouldn't be here without everybody that tunes in, because you're not, you know what I mean? You can't do it alone. But at least I be honest. I'm transparent with it. All right, so that's that. I think I'm done. Obviously, that's why I love tight ends and defense. Kind of like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? But my the spot I hate the most is receivers. I know I hate receivers. All right, so I'm done. Y'all let me know what y'all think. But it's time to throw in some lines. All right, let's go. How I change this shit? Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me change my camera. Whoops. Window capture. There we go. All right. Now let's try to make a few lines on Draftkings and FanDuel. All right, so Draftkings. All right, so it's gonna use the guys that I've been highlighting. So that's the first rodeo we're gonna have to deal with. But let's go ahead and make a couple changes. All right. Number one, let's try Joe Flacco. I just really feel like Cleveland is going to be the play. So this is definitely a GPP spot. So got Joe Flack. We'll throw in a value with Tillman. We'll throw McCaffrey. We'll throw. I love Breece Hall. We'll throw Breece in there. CeeDee Lamb. I want to go Neighbors, but let me double check first. Why I got T. Higgins? Let me take him off my favorite list. I don't even want Higgins. I like DJ Moore. Cedric. Let's pair him up with his guy. Let's go ahead and pair him up with Fannin. Alright, and then put Neighbors. Patriots. Let's go ahead and put in Browns defense. Who can I go up from there? Got Jamar Chase. Want to throw Jamar in there. I'm going to save that one just because I want to get like a higher up Jamar in there. But alright, let's pivot from him. Let's go back to Neighbors. How much is that? I still got a lot remaining. So maybe I don't have to go too far in. Let me see if I can find another play. 5,000 range. Stephon Diggs. Like Stephon there. Do I have Jerry Jeudy? I don't think I even talked about Jerry Jeudy, but just for the fact of the video, since it's Joe Flacco, let me save Jerry Jeudy. Anybody else I was talking about? I said Tillman, but I don't think I have to go so crazy in value. Let's see. If I go Tillman, pay up, I could go Colts. Like that. I could change some running backs. Let me go Chase Brown. Chase. Let me go. So we got Kamara. Travis. We got Vontae Williams. Who else did I mention? Montgomery. Samson. Alright, let's keep it going with the Cleveland side. So if I put Samson, I could get rid of some value there to where I could go up a little bit. Go Jackson. I like that. Ooh, I love that. Let's put that in there. Yeah, I like that a lot. Ooh, I love that right there. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's one of my favorite ones right there. Alright, so let's do a New England. Drake May. We talked about Diggs. off by $100. So we got Lamb, DJ Moore. Stephon. Jameer Gibbs. We got Amara St. Brown though. Let's just throw him in there for the opposite side of the field. On that end, let's just throw him in there. I think Amara St. Brown is still valuable at 7,000. Let's throw Garrett Wilson. Garrett, Fannin, Diggs, Moore. Still want to keep Moore, keep Lamb. That's not bad. I'm going to save that one. Alright, maybe change the quarterback. I need my Caleb. I kept Moore. Diggs. I still like that line a lot too. Yeah, I love that too. So it's only 300. So save that. Garrett. I could pivot. You either pivot or Chase Brown, but I still think Garrett Wilson's still a good spot. Chase Brown is definitely a good play. Alvin Kamara is still good. McBride. I mean, he still got good plays there. Patriots. Rams. Who is Rams playing again? Tennessee. Alright, let's throw him in there. I got Caleb, so I could pivot from Diggs. I could use my value play there. So let's go ahead and use my value play. With Tillman. How much is that? 5? If I want to also pair up, you know, you want to just, you think it's going to be an all-around, you know, rodeo, you could go put Rome. Got Rome, you could throw Rome in there. Alright, pretty much like here for, let's see, Fields. My Fields play, of course, I was talking about Garrett. Go back down to, I think Colts defense is a great spot. Garrett Wilson. Hold on, let me just swap these guys out real fast. So, if I don't want to have too much DJ, so if I go Wilson, Garrett there. What the hell? What's going on? Man, everything froze up. Jeez. Hey, yo, we got Kelsey. I forgot about Kelsey, y'all. Hold on, man. Kelsey's 5,000? Oh, man, that's hard to pass. Sam Laporta. I don't know. I liked him, but then again, I mean, they don't have likely, I believe. There's no likely. Mark Andrews, man, he kind of been off. Sam Porta. One thing, I don't like playing double tight ends. That's what I don't like to do. Let's see if I could try to find some. Oh, yeah. I didn't change Marvin. Let's get that out there. I don't want too much of DJ. Even though I like him a lot, I don't want to have too much of him. Demario Douglas, my boy Dougie the Douglas. I feel like I need another like top-notch receiver. I think I have to go Neighbors somehow. Somehow I need to have Neighbors in here. And then find a value here. 83,000 anywhere. There's my Fant guy. Maybe Fant or Font. Maybe Noah Font. Maybe. That's a maybe right there. I feel like I'm pushing it on that one. It's kind of a maybe. Let me throw Prescott. Save that. Alright. Let's go. This is now FanDuel. I know y'all can't see it, so let me move this over. You can see I'm doing FanDuel, so. Whoops. There you go. See, now you see it's FanDuel. Alright. Caleb. I could lock him in there. Generate another one. I just want to lock in Caleb real fast. See what I got. Alright. Well, I should have had DJ if I'm going to have Williams. DJ. I don't know if I want to have Connor. Take him out. Christian is really up there, 8,900. Maybe I don't have to go that route. I could stay low. Price. I think Brees is in a good spot there. Devontae Williams looks good. DJ Neighbors looks good. Jackson is good. Williams is good. Harrison's alright. Judy. Tillman. Odell. That's not bad. I'm able to keep both of those guys, so that's not bad. I'm able to keep those. So let me change Laporta. Because obviously I have other spots, so I could go ahead and put Fan in. Okay. Ravens is 5,000 defense. Like the Rams against Tennessee. So Rams, maybe pivot from Diggs. Let me see if I can find somebody better. Oh, I like the Bride. I got Alvin Kamara. I'm gonna save that one. Travis. Is he playing again? Let's see if I can get Garrett. Let's see if I can get a Garrett in there. Change my running back. Montgomery. See, this might be a time where I could get like a Montgomery. Knowing I might get like 12 to 14 fantasy points. Hopefully get more. But the fact that I'm able to get Wilson in there will probably pay off. I'm able to get Montgomery in that one. I still got that Samson, the guy. I still got Samson. I go Garrett. I could go AJ. Jackson. I'm still able to go low. I can still go Colts. I can still pay up and try to find. Can I get Christian McCaffrey there? I know I could get McCaffrey. I know I could get McCaffrey. Oh, I know I could get McCaffrey. So if I could get McCaffrey in there, maybe find Tillman. Oh, this is my Caleb. My bad. So I gotta have DJ if I'm gonna have Caleb. DJ Neighbors. Breeze Sampson Neighbors. Christian. How much money I have left? $600. Lamb Neighbors. Maybe I pivot from Neighbors. Go to. Got Marvin. Diggs. I think I'm trying too much. I'm trying too hard at this point. Just fucking go to Browns. Fuck it. Go to Browns. Keep it moving. Bounce back. There we go. Fuck it. Love this. Still got my Browns play. Got my Christian in there. Love that a lot. Love that a lot right there. Still got Drake May. If you want to plug him in. Instead of more, you go Diggs. You can go up and do whatever you want to do here. You got Cardinals. Bang, bada, boom. What else can I do? So many options. As you know, I'm getting tired at this point, but y'all get the drift. I think this is one of my favorite ones I like here. With just got Tua. You want to throw like a Tua. Let's see, Tua. Let's say you want to pivot from Diggs, go Hill, 72. Browns, I got $100 left. Okay. Neighbors. Jackson. There we go. Boom, bada boom. Nice little pivot. But as you can see, man, you can do a lot with this tool. It's pretty cool. But yo, I'm done. Yeah, if y'all like the video, yo, share it. Just like the video, you know. Any updates or any questions, just comment in the video. I always get my notifications. I try my best to reach out to everybody. Let me go ahead and move this up over. All right. Like I said, yo, check out my link. That's where I have a lot of my daily fantasy, like favorite plays. That's not free. But hey, obviously this should be more exclusive, but I want to every time I come with football, I like to do everything at one take with football. Football, I just want to take care of it all at once. I don't like to keep doing all these different videos for football, unless it's like Thursday night football, and then of course we had that little